about your people or in society in general being in a biracial relationship, for example?
For me, because I lived in California, first the Bennett was born in California. Claire was still very young when we moved here. In California, it's normal.
It's normal.
It's normal, so it was not that much that way. But we lived one time when I was broke, we lived with my in-laws, which that was the difficult part. Like African man with your ego to live at wife's family. That was the difficult part. But apart from that, so while we were there, that city they live, it's 45 minutes from LA, but it is more white and the Latino. Latino is not a lot, but more was Asian, like especially Filipino, Taiwanese, whatever. But it was very rare to find the black people. So you find maybe two, there was one black husband and wife and their kids, we meet at the church. So that is something very few times happened. Apart from that, so the only challenge, the crazy part used to be, especially when it was young, wherever they see black person, so if it doesn't look well, is the thinking that is the father, because you are used around, you see Filipino, Latino, white, and the only black you see is your father. So you see another black person, you assuming that is your father when they are a little young. Or while I was in the military, I wear the uniform, whenever they see any black person with the military uniform, especially Navy, oh, Baba, Baba. I say, that is not your father. Yeah. So there is that part. But overall, nothing. Even when we came to Missouri, Kansas, there are so many people. It's mixed. It's just a normal thing. Yeah. But the funny part is, the kids usually they are not aware about their mixed or whatever. So one day, one of my coworker posted on Facebook that. And you remember the black movement, whatever, during the last year summer. So they say, oh, my student, the person is, the husband is white, and the other one is another is from Asia. But so my student is lucky to get a black teacher. So Claire, I was sleeping on the couch. Marie is on the dining table. Claire was doing her thing. Claire, she was going for the preschool. She said, I also want a black teacher too. So Marie said, why do you need a black teacher while you have already, you have your father? He said, you have your father is there. He said, so? Do you know your father is black? He said, no, that is Baba.
Oh, the innocence.
I want a black teacher. That is Baba. So for her, like...
That's funny. That's funny. Wow.
So you see, like the kids, they do not know.
Innocent.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
Nice.
Yeah. So for me, I don't have any particular kind like those kind of experiences. But the other funny part, when they are born very very young, I usually don't like to carry along the baby and they walk around, like when I have the walk in the evening, because the kids are more white, so they'll say, where this black is still this kid, like I'm aware with because one day
they're like looking at you like,
so
is that your child?
Even like Faustina now is more, is mixed. So I carry Faustina, so we are walking out from Sam's Club in the supermarket. So Marie was coming, so I carried Faustina. I was running with her to go to the car. So there is one white person was just looking like, talking like the phone. So Marie started laughing a lot. I said, so Marie had to make a comment. That is the father. Like, because the guy was, this guy kidnapped the white kid.
Yeah, that's funny.
So I just usually like be aware sometimes, like especially when they are very very little. I don't like to run with the child. Like you obviously, okay, why? Like you have a white kid around. The more they grow, you see the changes. You be able to see them in that way. Do you have that any experience with the interracial?
No, the funny thing is, I think where I used to get like an eye roll is more back home, whereby I remember when we were dating, I was at campus, so I was at Makerere University, and like every time he came to visit me, like on the weekend, like all the people in the neighborhood would like stand there, like like you'd see all these people gather next to the road, like where he used to pass, because my hostel was like right next to the road, and they will all be shouting, "Mzungu's here! Mzungu's here! Mzungu's Mzungu's picking up the girl! Mzungu's picking up the girl!" So, and then the kids would also come. So I was like, Jesus Christ. So, but then, and then even in like restaurants, like every time we went out, I feel like most times it might be different for like a black guy with a white woman might be different.
I will give that experience. Continue your experience.
Yeah, so because like me, like back home, you know, you still like people would look at you as a prostitute, as still like you would get like that reaction in places like the bars. If we went out to watch soccer on the weekend, you would see people like, oh, you know, why is this girl with a Mzungu guy? But so good enough. He wasn't too old, so they would not say like, you know, we're all like almost the same age, but you'd still get like those roles. Like you went swimming here, you'd see like people serving. You would look at you like, you know, you're doing a wrong thing.
Yeah,
kind of.
For me here, I don't have the problem in America than in Africa. I've been with Marie once, and I've been with Benedict once, so I have different experience. When I went with Marie, we just got married, and within a month we went to Tanzania. What upset me was everybody assume that this is the only opportunity to go to whatever, to their country, is through her, through a white person.
Yeah.
And that is the only, like, so even if like for me, the bill will come in there and we pay the bill, so everybody they come like, Mzungu has to pay the bill. Like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
That is like number one. Another thing is someone to see or think that you are like a tour guide in one way or another. Or when you go, so I reach a point that when I want to get into the tax, for instance, because most of the time because there was no Uber at that time, so whatever the tax you have to get, I have to tell Marie, hide it somewhere. I negotiate the price, then I go to get Marie. And the guy sees that this black guy tour is just getting extra money from a white woman, is giving me. So it was like this kind of problem all the time, like you see, like, okay.
Yeah.
So it was not like a normal experience. Like, so even if, let's say, you become, no matter how much money you have, whatever, or both of you are working and you split the bill, they see on one side only. If you go to Africa, like then here it doesn't matter who pays. They don't care about that. What they care, they just pay the bill. That's what we care about.
Yeah.
When I went with Benedict, it was like, I mean, yes, but I think sometimes the treatment from other kids was just like they didn't give the good experience of Africa. They just assume this is just like another like whitish kid, kind of that. Yeah, so yeah, but it is, but yeah, kind of different. Like even like if a certain food he doesn't like, yes, you don't like a certain food. Oh, it's because this kid is whitish, kind of that. Instead of like, okay, myself I don't eat certain food. It's just a preference. So there are those kind of things, but overall, yeah, there are those kind of like different experience over there because of that. To see Westerners have money, whatever, and anybody you date someone, they assume it's just opportunity. There is no true love. It's just because you are this one. Because so there is that negative part of that particular angle. Yeah.